Yeah, this is supposed to be more, who knows what. All right. So there was a famous Moroccan Chacham, Rabbi Eliyahu Buchbut. He was almost, I think, if I remember correctly, about 200 years ago, living in Morocco. And he went to in the city of Meknes, one of the cities in Morocco, and he was staying by the famous Rabbi Shlomo Boider. He was one of the rich people living in the city of Meknes in Morocco. And as we know, Moroccans are huge into fish. You know, they make shalom. They make a lot of fish dishes for Shabbat. And happened to be that the whole week nobody was able to find fish in the city, and everybody, it was very hectic. He was looking all over for fish and they couldn't find it. And he sends his servant all over, no fish to be found. And he comes back and reports that he couldn't find it. He was very sad. How is it possible to have such an important guest and I can't have fish on Shabbat? This is not to be. The rabbi sees him, he's depressed. He says, why are you so sad? Why are you so depressed? He tells him, how can I not be upset? Shabbat is coming. It's already almost Friday night and there is no fish to be found. He says, this is your problem? I'll bring you fish. No problem. He says, Rabbi, you don't get it. All over the city, nobody can find it. He says, relax, I'll bring for you. And everybody goes to tefillah, they come back, and the house was filled with light. It was a beautiful home. Everything was set up, everybody's sitting, they make kiddush, and they all got up, they went to make habuti on the bread, they come back, there is a nice frying pan with fish, beautiful fish in it. And they were all like, his wife says, wait a minute, where did this come from? We didn't have fish. Rabbi says, these are mine. These are mine. I brought it with me from Rabat. That's where they lived in Morocco. He says, it's mine. And he takes and he starts eating. Everybody sees he's eating. They're going to start eating too. And it was great. And they're all like wondering what is going on. So that week, he receives a letter from his wife complaining, I was hoping you would be back already for Shabbat. You were gone for 2 weeks. And I went and I bought fish and I made fish for Shabbat. We had it all on the table and everything. And then the fish and the frying pan went missing. Suddenly, on Friday afternoon, it just went missing. So he brings the letter to Rabbi Shlomo and he says, you see, what did I tell you? I'll bring you the fish. Don't worry about it. And so it was. What is the zechut of Shabbat? All right.
True story?
This is, he was known to do a lot of, like Baba Sali. He was like the Baba Sali type. All right. Now, we are up to the halachot, Ve'ezrat Hashem, of the yoledet. That means a woman who is pregnant, giving birth, and onward. The halakha is like this. While during pregnancy, if chas v'shalom, the mother is not feeling well, right? And the doctor realizes, chas v'shalom, there is a danger for the baby. Like, the ultrasound, whatever it is, even if it's a safek that there's a sakana for the baby, the halakha is that we are mechalel Shabbat. Okay? This is even in the beginning, okay, of the pregnancy. Even even within the first 40 days, that we say this is as if it's like there's no life really, but we say that as far as this is concerned, we say Chalel alav Shabbat achad kedei sheyishmor Shabbatot harbe. Right? Do desecrate one Shabbat, so that Be'ezrat Hashem he'll be born and he'll be able to keep many Shabbatot, right? And so this is throughout the pregnancy of Chas v'Shalom. Obviously, they go through the different steps, but if need be, we don't say, it can be Mechalel Shabbat, the baby is not born yet. And that halakha As far as the baby is something else. We say that it's not called the nefesh, right? There's a whole halacha, Gemara in Sanhedrin, different places, that is not considered nefesh. That's only if you're going to push someone else away for this unborn baby. That means someone else's life we don't push off to save this baby. But to save the baby itself, of course, to save the baby and to make sure the baby is okay and everything, the halacha is that their chilul Shabbat could be done to help the child and if chas v'shalom the mother is the doctor realizes that they have to do surgery and and to extract the baby to make sure the baby is going to be saved, they could do that on Shabbat. That's not a problem as far as Shabbat is concerned. Now, a lady that she is already in the 9th month and she's about to give birth, so she should technically and practically prepare whatever she needs just in case she's going to give birth on Shabbat from before, right? To try to diminish as much as possible chilul Shabbat, right? To make sure that there's a bag ready with all the needs that the last minute not to look for it, and to make sure you have all the information that's needed handy. These days it's all probably online. Everything is there, all the registration, everything. But whatever we can in order to have less of a chilul Shabbat, the better. As much as we can, to create a list of the things that we need in a bag and everything. You could even put money in the bag, right? In case you need money for the cab or whatever it is. And it doesn't make the bag muktzeh because this is you have devarim shel heter in the bag as well. And therefore, it doesn't make it a basis ledavar ha'asur as far as the halachot of muktzeh are concerned. Okay. So when the time comes, Be'ezrat Hashem, for the birth, that she feels she wants to, she's getting closer to give birth, that is when the contractions begin and they are regular, right? That's one sign. The other sign is that the water broke. Even if she's not sure if she's going to give birth now or close to giving birth, but it's already there, it's already in that stage. At that point, already it is mutar to call an ambulance or a cab to drive to the hospital. Okay, we're not dealing with the actual birth. We're not going to do chilul Shabbat completely at this point in time. We're only at that stage of it's getting close. Once it's in that stage already, one is allowed to call, and definitely much better to use to do shinui, to get the phone off the cradle with the elbow, as much as we can, because it's not really right now. You're saving someone's life, but we're definitely close, and it's definitely time to call. Then one is allowed to call the ambulance or the cab, because I don't think you would want to give birth at home. Sorry. Now, at the same token, the person, who is close to the yoledet, to the person giving birth, is definitely, certainly allowed to. Not only that, should go with her to the hospital, or whoever she needs to go, because they say the Chazon Ish would push the people, go with her, to make sure, because it's very hard to feel lonely, to be going to the hospital. It's nerve-wracking enough, but then when you have someone that could calm you down, if such a thing is possible, then it should be done definitely, because as it says, maybe she's going to lose her mind, aleha. If no one goes with her. So in that case, we say that definitely a family or friend or someone who she trusts shall travel with her to the hospital. Now, if as they're traveling in the ambulance or in the cab, she feels the contractions stopped, what's the halacha? The halacha is tell the driver, go back.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, of course. Where are you going? Right? This is if they're while they're driving, and there is no need anymore to go to the hospital. In that case, a person could tell the driver to go back home. However, once they reach the hospital, then she gets scared and the contractions stop. Now what? Now, what do we do now? So the halacha is really that she should just stay in the hospital, right? In Israel, it's easier. They make accommodations, but some other hospitals, they don't have accommodations. Like, there is no place for her to rest, to sit. If that's the case, if she is not able to stay in the hospital, I don't know, how does it work in Cedars? I'm not sure.
They won't admit you until something real is happening.
Right, but is there a place to stay? Like, they say that we want to stay. I don't think so.
In the waiting room?
Area?
No.
Lobby area, uncomfortable.
The walk, right, that's it. They tell you walk around. Yeah.
Oh, they tell you to walk around. Okay, so good. But if she doesn't have the strength and the power to do that, if there is an element of discomfort, like that staying in the hospital is not going to cut it. It's very hard. It's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be, she's not going to feel comfortable. In that case, and to stay there. Let's say they went Friday night, and you expect them to stay there in the next 20 hours. It's not very comfortable to stay until after Shabbat. Then she could get a cab, tell a goy driver to drive her. Right? That's that she could do, because if anything,
how do you go about getting a goy driver?
Most of the drivers here are going. Right? No? Really?
What if it's not? What if you think it is and then you find out?
If you think it's fine, look. Even I'll tell you, the
If
halacha
it's an
is.
American, you never know.
Look, we go after the majority. Majority are probably.
Uber. It happened to us.
Uber.
Oh, yeah.
And they
Uber.
were- And they were Jewish.
And they were Jewish.
Interesting.
How'd you find out they were Jewish?
And my son, his name is Goldberg, something in the news. I'm like, are you Jewish? Yeah.
Safek. But I'll tell you, majority isn't. Majority
He's like
isn't.
half Jewish.
We're living in galut.
The other half, right?
Right.
Well,
Maybe the dad is Jewish and his
Right.
name is Goldberg. The mom is Mustafa. I don't know, whatever. It's not. We go after the majority. The majority is not Jewish, and therefore we're not choshesh. I mean, look, if what we call if they find an Asian or of some other ethnicity, which most likely wouldn't be Jewish, that would be nice. Okay, but really the halacha is, in her case, if she's really not feeling well, then she might even be able to go with a Jew driver in this case. But all right, we're not gonna. I don't think it's really applicable. Someone who is in a cab, let's say, or what? Let's just clarify this. It would certainly be much easier to take a cab, and definitely an ambulance is better. But it would be much better to use a cab than drive our own car, because our own car, there's so many other things that are involved, like like starting the car, like every time you put your foot on the brake, and then signals, this, that. You have to do signals because it's safety. Like when a person is driving the car, he has to stop by the red light. He has to stop by the stop sign. He has to follow the law. He can't say it's Shabbat, chas v'shalom, I'm not going to put my foot on the brake. It's going to turn the brake light on. I'm not going to signal because it's going to another turning the light off. You can't think like that. You got to do what you got to do. But we try to lessen it as much as possible. Like when you're getting closer to the hospital, just take your foot off the gas so that you won't have to really put your foot on the brakes so much. One thing is for sure, it's also to turn the car off if you're driving, right? You just tell the goy, Mustafa, turn the car off, and the lights, of course, whatever. These days, all these cars, the light goes out automatically, so Baruch Hashem, we don't have a problem with that. But definitely, a cab is much easier than my own car, because my own car, I'm going to have to do a lot of things a lot of things on Shabbat. So the cab is definitely easier, even more comfortable. Ambulance, but ambulances don't usually have this service. It's best to call a cab company before Shabbat and to tell them, listen, there is this situation, we might have to call you, and to put the cab company's number on speed dial. This way you only press one button as opposed to pressing a whole bunch of buttons on Shabbat. Just one button. Yeah, so that, as we said before, we try to lessen, as much as we can, any things of the Chilul Shabbat. However, now they bring down, however, that a person doesn't have to before Shabbat say, oh, you know what, we have to go to the hospital. We might have to go to the hospital, so let's get a hotel room right next to the hospital. So this way, we'll do less of Chilul Shabbat. It's going to be a burden on the kids, if there are other kids, or on the family, or on herself. She's not going to be as comfortable, unless they really have a lot of fun in that hotel. It's it's a family gathering, which I don't think so. You're going to be away from everything and everyone. Or, they want to stay by a friend, which is right next block to the hospital. Again, if it's an uncomfortable situation and there's going to be a lack of Onik Shabbat for her or the family and / or the family, then they don't have to do it. But if they can, and it's not going to be a lack of Onik Shabbat and it's going to be really enjoyable and everything, then why not? Except one issue. One issue is other people that see this, what are they going to think? They're going to think, oh, you see, you can't do this. You can't drive on Shabbat to go to the hospital. Or you can't do any of these things in this case, and they're going to learn from them, thinking, oh, you can't do it. If we don't have that worry that other people are going to see and think and figure out and put two and two together and all that, then they could do it. Tavo aleim baracha. Why not? If they could do it, why not? It's easier for them, it's easier on everyone, and so on and so forth. But again, if it's as they say in Yiddish, too much of a patchke, and or it's going to cause other people to think, oh, look at them, they did this, so let's all do that. Everybody's going to start, reserving rooms in the hospital, in the hotels, and in people's homes near the hospital. That's not going to be so pleasant. So then it's not to do. But as we said, it's a good thing to call the camp company before, and maybe give the credit card number, that will even make it easier, and so on and so forth, and let them know this is the situation I would like when the cab driver comes. He is the one that should be opening the door, and to help to carry the stuff, and so on and so forth. Why not? To do as little as we can, that would be the best thing. Says the Rambam in the second chapter of Halachot of Shabbat, Halacha Yud Aleph. This is an important thing that we should know. He writes, although it is permitted to do any melacha for the yoledet. Okay? Like we said, the things that she needs. However, as much as we can do beshinui, we should do. Okay? Although one is allowed to do everything, but when it comes, if possible, to do everything with a shinui, that's what we should do. And then he goes on, and then at the end he says, but if it's impossible, then just do it. Just do regular, no problem. Okay, so the Rambam is putting a little bit of a twist when it comes to the yoledet, to the lady that is giving birth. He's putting a twist. If you could do shinui, then do so. Rightfully, Harav Magid Mishnah Rosanis, he asked, he is the premier commentator on the Rambam. He says, wait a minute, the Rambam didn't say this, use the same language by Chole Sheyesh Bo Sakana. But like we learned until now, Chole Sheyesh Bo Sakana, we're not going to do shinui, this, that. Do it straight through. If there is Chas v'Shalom Chole, sick person who is in life and death situation, do it. And we are considering a yoledet pretty much in that state. He answers, and other Rishonim say the same thing. He says, Baruch Hashem, this whole birth situation and all the pain and all the whole process, these are devarim tiv'iyim la. These are natural, and va'afilu echad me'elef, even 1 in 1,000, is not in a life-threatening situation. So therefore, Chachamim were a little bit more machmir. They said, if it's possible to do it with a shinui, right, do so. such a thing was not said by a chole sheyesh bo sakana. It could be instantly the person's life is in danger. And over there we say, don't play games like to do with shinui and everything. Do it straight through, and that's it.
Good.
Okay? Yes.
So, are they talking about, at what point in time are they talking about though? Is it like when she has major contractions or she's actually in birth? Because lots of women used to die back in the day.
Right. We're talking about that there was a life-threatening situation. That was at birth itself.
Right.
This is all leading up to it.
So the preliminary time.
Right, preliminary, during the birth itself, for sure. Then there's no question. They're not gonna wait and say the nurse at the time of the actual birth is not gonna say, oh, let me use my elbow, no. At that time, that's it. The heat is on, as they say. Now, if the doctor decided that she should do a C-section, right? Definitely, they should try to push it off until after Shabbat, unless there is a danger, right? If they could wait until Motzei Shabbat, then they should do it, unless Chas v'Shalom, we're talking about an emergency C-section, that's already something else. And if it's anyway from the beginning, the doctor said, no, in your case we need to do it, then if it's possible for her not to do it, not on Shabbat, and also not the days leading up to Shabbat, that would be the best thing. Try to do it in the beginning, first days of the week, so that there won't be, if Chas v'Shalom there is any complications, then they won't hit Shabbat. Right? So on Sunday, Monday, whatever, that would be the most easiest thing to do, in order that they shouldn't come and Chas v'Shalom have to be Mechalel Shabbat. Right? Okay.
What's like really wrong about a C-section? We're saying because
No, I'm not talking about that. We're saying, a C-section because it's an operation. It's not your regular birth, so they have to cut open and they have to do all these things. After all said and done, we try not to do it on Shabbat. There's a lot more melachot that are going to be done. If we try to as much as possible to not to have to bring ourselves to do melachot on Shabbat. Also on Shabbat, let's say she decides, I would like to have epidural. Is that okay to do on Shabbat? We're not talking about sakana, if a person doesn't have epidural. Right? The question is,
I missed that.
can we get an epidural?
can you get an epidural on Shabbat? She's giving birth. She decides, I don't want to take all this pain. I would like to have epidural. The halachah is that it's mutar, especially that she's really having a lot of pain, and she wants to get an epidural shot. And even if there is slight bleeding, which is not even necessarily going to happen, even that we're not choshesh, because as we said before, this is a davar who needs the blood? You don't need the blood to extract the blood. Therefore, that is allowed.
Can she, adjust the amount? Here's like a pumpy thing you hold.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. Once she's getting it, doing that, it's not. It doesn't do anything. It's not. She's certainly begeder chodesh basakana. She could do a lot of these things.
But again, isn't that on the doctor? She's not doing any melacha.
Yeah, you do. You pump it.
No, besides for that, just to get
Yes,
that epidural.
true, very true. But she could ask for it, and they could do it. See, the question is, wait a minute. This is not a life-saving procedure that she could ask for. Let's try to diminish as much as we can. What we say in this thing, it's just a numbing effect, and it's not a problem. That's what Poskim saying. And I don't think there is any more halachot as far as leading up to birth and during birth, because during birth already is a process that Be'ezrat Hashem and Baruch Hashem, it should be all done with good health. So now we could go after birth. Once the birth happens, the first 3 days, right? Now, on this there is a big machloket. When do we start the 3 days? From the time labor began, or the actual birth? Ravad is very adamant. It says it starts from the actual birth. He's trying to give more time. From the time of the actual birth, right? From that moment, so you have to know exactly what time it was, because this is called me'et le'et. We don't say, okay, 3 days later. No, it's me'et le'et. That means if you give birth 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday, okay, they could do the halachot of the first 3 days apply until 4 o'clock in the afternoon Shabbat. So it's exactly like, 72 hours, right? Exactly. So you have to know when the birth was. Now, it makes a difference, halachically, because in the first 3 days, she is begeder chola, she yeshba sakana. She is in danger, right? Even if she says, no, I don't need. Let's say they say you have to eat hot foods, to give you strength. She says, no, it's okay, I'll just eat some nuts. Like, we don't listen to her, right? We don't listen to her. The Gemara says, we are mechalel Shabbat for her. Even if she says, I don't want, I don't need. We don't listen to her. Listen to this Gemara. Gemara Masachet Yomah. It's talking about Yom Kippur, but it applies, Chachamim apply it to here. Right? So the Gemara says, wait a minute, she's saying I don't want. What do you want from her? The Gemara says, tunvahi de kanakte. Tunvahi. It's a tunva that she has. What is tunva? Rashi says, she's gone cuckoo. She's gone mad. Because of the whole pressure and everything, she's not understanding. Like, and she says, no, I don't want. Some say it means like, when after birth, sometimes they're like disgusted by food or everything. But but we have to give her. Like, the first 3 days, there's no question. Even if she says no, like, we give her. The Gemara says, why is she in danger? Because she just went through a trauma in which it says that Evareha mitparekot, all her limbs are like falling apart, right? It's an interesting, it's a very interesting language. It's a very interesting language that Chazal use. Perakim are joints, and as we know medically, all the joints become very loose, and that's why Chachamim used mitparekot. That means like all the joints. Like it's interesting. I read somewhere that how Chazal are like they were like saw it that that this is what it is, and it's not a joke. So she is in danger. Right? It's just that Chazal tell us she just doesn't feel it. She's in the heat of the thing. She's in the moment. She doesn't understand how dangerous it is and how much she needs, to become strong and healthy. So therefore, these first 3 days are very crucial. Even let's say she gives birth on Friday, as we say, on Wednesday, as we say, or Thursday and Friday. So these first 3 days, even if it's Shabbat, we are mechalel Shabbat in order to strengthen her. Okay? Even if the doctor says, she's fine, she doesn't need, we'll give her vitamins, and all that, we don't listen. We are mechalel Shabbat for her, right? Because that is what Chazal tell us. And it is asur for her to say, to be a tzaddik and want to be machmir, no, chas v'shalom, the Shabbat, this, that, we don't listen. A lady that gives birth, right? She feels sometimes very cold, right? It could be in the middle of the summer and she feels cold, right? If you can't tell a goy to turn the heat on or something, a Jew could turn the heat on. This halakha doesn't apply only to the first 3 days, first 30 days, okay? First 30 days, if she feels cold and there is no goy to tell the goy to turn the heater on and everything, then a Jew could go ahead and turn on the heat, right? Because when it comes to the cold and everything, she's very sensitive, and of course, as Shlomo Melech says, "Chacham einav berosho," right? We should think ahead and already before Shabbat to set this thing up so that we won't have any trouble. Oh no, Shabbat, turn the heat on,
Why doesn't she could do it herself?
She could, definitely, 100%. Even another person could do it, right? But yeah, but for
Wouldn't
her...
it be better if she did it for herself, or does it make a difference?
Possible. I don't think it makes a difference. No, we're talking about, someone who's sick. We have to take care of her.
She gets really hot. You turn on the air.
Yeah, the hormones go up
Right.
and down, so that's yeah.
It depends. It depends. Is it if it's if it's going to help her, if it's going to calm her down, maybe possible, yeah. Now, washing. It used to be that washing was a lot more important back in the day. Back then, they would say to heat water for washing and bathing and everything. Although it's not for pikuach nefesh, if she doesn't bathe, she's not going to die. But what it does is the Rishonim say it's mechazek. it strengthens a person, right? So therefore, it does help heal. Like, for a person that bathes or washes himself, like, it definitely helps heal. Therefore, being that in the first 3 days especially, she's considered a chola sheyesh ba sakana, right? And even if one thing is missing, chas v'shalom, it could lead to chas v'shalom danger. So if she needs, and I think usually they do promote it still, to bathe and to wash and everything, to gain that strength, then so be it. They could wash with hot water even on Shabbat. No problem, no question at all.
The first 30 days? Or?
First 3 days. First 3 days.
So the only thing for 30 days is the heat?
Right, the heat. Washing and heating of water. Look, if a goy does it, then for sure, first 30 days even. Right, but right now we're dealing with the first 3 days, right? Now, once the 3 days are over, right, then until the end of the 7th day, if she says, I don't need, right? This is after the 4th day until the 7th. She says, I don't need, then we'll listen to her. But if she kept quiet, right, or she says, I need, right, then for sure we give her. We're mechalel Shabbat to give her what she needs, like to give her a certain food, whatever it is that she needs to strengthen herself. And this being quiet or the I don't know, there is a lot of machloket. Some said the Ben Ish Chai, for example, says if she says, oh, I don't know, or she kept quiet, then we don't. We're not mechalel Shabbat. Rabbi says no way. He brings a slew of Rishonim and Achronim that say no. If she says I don't know, we're still mekel, and therefore we are mechalel Shabbat for her, right? If she says that she needs, now it's the other way. She says I want food, please give me abusht, and the doctor says no, she's perfectly fine, she doesn't need. Who do we listen to? We listen to the mother, because lev yoda'at marat nafsho, a person knows their own troubles, and therefore we listen to her. After the 7th day, until the 30th day, her halachot changes. Her status changes. She is now chola she'en ba sakana.
So wait, sorry.
Yes.
So when she's in the hospital and she gave birth, she's allowed to press the button and stuff?
Oh, very good. Excellent. I wrote that somewhere. I don't remember where it is. But yes, if she, let's say, within the 7 days even after the 3 days, she needs to get down from the bed. She needs to go to the restroom, let's say. Right? And she can't. She needs help. And the nurse is not nearby. She's not to be seen. She's off the horizon. Presses the button, right? And the nurse comes to help her. She could definitely do that. For many reasons. That's perfectly fine. Oh yeah, I have it.
Is that for anything?
For things
like
that...
my machine was beeping. My IV.
So then...
That
I
happened so many times.
And oh my god, I was like screaming and nobody came.
So
and
that's it.
I didn't know the malacha.
No, so for sure.
Somebody come turn this off.
No, you could do it b'shinui. That's not a problem at all.
Or you could turn it herself.
Yeah, for
I did
sure.
not do it myself.
No, I'm saying the pager, the thing, the button. Like, you could press it with your elbow.
Oh.
You do it b'shinui. It's not even the oraita, because there's no light turning on or off as a result of this. You're fine.
How about a pump?
Oh. So, we discussed that before, right?
Well, I mean, during the first 3 days.
So that's for the baby. If she's
if you're in pain.
right, if she's in pain, we said pumping is okay. The better that it's electrical, because the electrical you don't do any pumping. The electricity does it, right? And then the container should have bleach or soap in it, and then that's easier. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Wait, I think
No.
we're talking about what kind of pumping are you doing?
Breast pump.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the. Okay.
Right. That we discussed this. We said this. Remember?
Yeah.
Back in the Melachav Sechita and the Dash. So we mentioned like it's you put some soap and stuff in the container, soap, bleach, whatever it is in the container, and then they pump it into there, and then that's fine. What?
No.
So that you can't use the milk, because then when a person pumps, that would be like mefarek. Mefarek is an av melacha, and that we can't do. right?
If the baby needs it.
If the baby needs it, then for the sake of the baby, for sure it could be done.
I would like have to go.
For sure. Because the baby is a cholesh yesh sakana definitely at this point in time, and the baby cannot take anything else. Therefore, we say that definitely a baby, for the baby, for the sake of the baby, they could do it. Okay?
But they should do an electrical one.
Electrical is better, for sure. Imagine,
Like turn
with
it
the
on,
manual,
plug it in.
oh, tell the goy to do it, and if there's no goy,
No, but like let's
Put
say.
it on a timer.
it's, a timer is
There's
even
no
better.
time. It turns off after.
Wait, is
No,
this
there's-
only the first how many days?
For the
Like,
baby,
the
look,
hospital.
Like let's say the baby's in a place of danger
yeah, for
and the
The home
mom is
one's
not
fine.
near the baby,
Right,
so
right.
it needs to pump on Shabbat to be able to.
let's see.
Yeah, is that the question?
What was the question?
Wait, what's the question?
Mother's discharged, baby's still there. Mother has to come to
Right,
baby.
come back and to feed the baby.
Yeah.
So, so there you don't need a pump. You just nurse the baby, right? In that case.
No,
She can't.
can't.
Oh, they don't let her.
Right.
They don't let the mother do it. So what do they want to do? They want to pump and give it to the baby. So for sure, if the nurse, the best thing through a goy, there's no question that it could be done, right?
Well, let's just wants to like pump at home.
You tell her. So if she wants to do it at home, then the best thing to do, they say, it brings down that you put it on a timer, right? You put the electric pump on a timer, and when it turns on, like at different intervals, and then you just pump it and then give it to the baby. Take it for the baby and give it for the baby. The best thing to do it there, right?
You
That
definitely can like plug it in.
plug it in. I don't think so. Plugging it in. How does it work? When you plug in, different little lights turn on. Probably there's nothing.
Plug
Okay,
it in
I
and
had
only.
to do this once.
You plug it in and only when
have
you
to try it.
turn the.
Yeah, the motor.
Only when you
Timer.
turn
The motor
the
turns
thing.
on. The dial?
then
There's
it
no
starts.
lights.
Right, there's no.
There's no lights.
No.
So then you could
Plug it in
for the baby, yeah.
and then turn
If
it.
you can get a goy, yeah. If you can get a goy to do it for you, the best. But if not, the best thing to do first. Let's go better things first. Better thing is to have enough before Shabbat already in the fridge or the freezer. That would be the best thing, right? But if they don't have, if it's not enough, you need more on Shabbat, for the sake of the baby, and the baby can't eat anything else at that point in time. If the baby could take formula or something at that point in time, then give him formula, and then let Shabbat, after Shabbat already will take care of it. But if no, the baby can't. The baby is too small. It cannot take formula at this time. That cannot be the only source of nutrition. Baby is in cholesh yesh sakana. For cholesh yesh sakana, anything. Okay, but then again, you do kal betchila. You start from the easier, and you work your way up. Okay.
So definitely no hand pumps.
Yes, even hand pumps are mutar in this case.
But you're saying an electric one is
Yeah,
better.
the electrical would be better.
Even if you have to plug it in and turn it
right.
on.
This is pumping. Each time you press on the manual pump, that's the melacha of mefarek, right? Whereas that is only one thing, not doing anything else.
That's
so interesting.
Yeah.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah, it's the malacha of what?
You just think electricity,
Mefarek.
so forget
Mefarek.
it.
Mefarek is the melacha of threshing. That means you have food, you have the wheat kernel inside the chaff, and then you take it out of it. That's the melacha of threshing. So the melacha of sechita, so like you're milking, is the same exact thing. Like you bring the food out of its
But
container.
if it's going straight into soap, then it's okay.
Very good. Then you don't have a mashke. It's not a mashke anymore. It's not a drink anymore. It's not drinkable. The ibud, they would say to do it onto the floor, or this is better. This is either way, that would work. Yes.
I'm so sorry. Just to clarify, even if it's not the 3 days, let's say it's like your baby's already 2-3 months, right? And they stop nursing, and you want to pump on Shabbat, you're allowed to use an electric pump?
Well, again, if the baby has other source of food and is not going to be in danger, he's going to be fine, he's not going to be malnutrition here, then don't. Then
No, I'm saying for yourself.
For yourself, no.
For relief, you have to
For
go
for it has to be. You could electrical pump would be better, but in that case, I think they say is it possible for a person to do it by hand, with 2 people together? Is that possible? Yeah, I remember. I heard in Shiur, Ovadia said it explicitly. He says if two people could do it together, another person helps. Like once it's done together, then the bimkum tsar becomes the rabbanan. Right now, the isur becomes the rabbanan. Once it's mid rabbanan, then bimkum tsar. There's pain. There's suffering here. Chachamim never made that gezerah, and therefore it would be mutar. Okay.
But you have to throw
But you have to throw out.
Oh yeah, that there is no question. Right, in the sink and you wash it off. Okay. Now, after the third day, after the seventh day until the 30th day, her halacha is chole she'ein ba sakana, and now at this point, a Jew cannot do any melachot. Okay, even if she says I need it, then we tell a goy to do it. Right? The Yisrael could do things that are asur midrabbanan, okay? But things that are asur mideoraita, right? He cannot do, right? The things that are midrabbanan he could do b'shinui. Then it's a double heter, and therefore she could do it. Now, if chas v'shalom there is a complication after the seventh day, then and it's a dangerous complication, then for sure she goes back to the halacha of chola sheyesh ba sakana, in which case, they are mechalel Shabbat. In that case, even a Jew should do it. Now, within the 7 days, let's say chas v'shalom, a lady that had a miscarriage, right, after the 40th day and on. She had a miscarriage. Her halacha is exactly like a woman who gave birth, as far as the first 3 days are concerned, as far as the first 7 days are concerned, and as far as the 30 days. Right? That means the first 3 days she has the halacha of chola sheyesh ba sakana up to the 7th day. She has that in the first 3 days, even if she says I don't need. We are mechalel Shabbat for her. After the 3rd day, if she says I need, we are mechalel Shabbat, and the same halachot apply.
Does it matter when the miscarriage was?
After the 40th day and on, even if you're safek, was it the 40th, was it the 38th, we're not sure, we say the same halacha. Okay? Now, if she is in the hospital, okay, this is just a side halacha, nothing to do with chola sheyesh ba sakana, em ba sakana, as far as candle lighting, right? They don't allow her to light candles. So the husband will light at home, makes a beracha. What about her? She could make a beracha, have the lights off, and say Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu v'sosonu lahadlik ner Shabbat. Boom, and she presses the button, turns the light on, and thereby she is also yotzai yedei chova of nerot hadlakat
They
nerot
have
Shabbat.
electric ones.
The little ones,
Yeah.
Plug it in.
perfect.
Not all, but
I remember. I think we took from home. I think we brought from home. We had it like you plug it in, and before you turn it on, you make a beracha, and that's it. All right.
So I have a quick question.
Yes.
So I'm still adjusting to this whole say the bracha before you light situation. So sometimes